Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Red Letter Days podcast. I am your host, Sean, and I have a special co-host with me today, Josh Birman.
It's me.
It's him. He's back. And the reason it's the two of us and Michaela's not here is because we're going to do a fun kind of sub-series podcast together because Josh and I, we love to nerd out on gear and stuff like that. We literally have occasionally nerd days that we just get together and we play with. We're like old big kids with our toys. It's like going back in time. Kind of just being kids playing with our toys and stuff. Our toys have just gotten much more expensive.
Oh yes, yeah.
So, anyways, this is going to be a sub series, and I'm literally just going to call it Nerd Day. And then, we'll put kind of the topic behind that and everything. But I think this is going to be super fun. And so if you're not into the nerd stuff, we'll just say this up front. This probably isn't the episode for you. If you're interested, in this kind of stuff, then stick around. And if you have questions or anything that you want us to answer on the next episode we do, be sure to drop those in the comments and everything. But yeah, this is just going to be super fun. I'm excited for this one because every time I start down a tangent of talking like anywhere near kind of nerdy stuff, I get the look from Michaela every time. So it's this is giving me like the freedom that I so long for.
Yes.
So there's so much to talk about. Like there's so much to what we do. So Josh and I specifically, we kind of specialize in the video realm of things. Although our businesses offer both services, photography and video. Josh and I both kind of specialize in the video area. And that's kind of, I guess that's kind of across the board with couples who have companies like this. Seems like it's like, the wife kind of heads up photography. That's kind of her thing. And then the husband kind of does video. And that's very much so for us and everything. But I think a reason for that is because of the technical aspect to video. Like there's so many layers to it. And I just get sucked in by that stuff. Like I'm just like specs and, codecs and resolutions and, all this stuff.
Yeah. What is it about that? Like, I just love it. I love learning about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, I don't know why, but it just sucks me in. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but I love that stuff.
If I got to talk to Emma about it, her eyes just kind of glaze over.
Exactly. And that's every time with Michaela, I'll start talking about stuff and I'll have to like do a disclaimer at the front of it. I'd be like, hey, can I share something nerdy with you? Like, I have to tell somebody. If I haven't already like texted you or whatever, which is usually the case. I'll usually text you. and that's like, and then during our slower seasons or whatever, we'll be like Nerd Day. Yep, absolutely, Nerd Day. And so this is going to be like another aspect to it, but it's going to be a blast. I thought since this is the first one, we'd kind of go back in time to our humble beginnings.
They were very humble.
And I want to talk like gear today, like equipment that we've shot on over the years. And I want to go back to our beginnings, for that. But first and foremost, how are you?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I wore sweatpants today.
I know. I see that. I was pumped when I saw you walk in the door. I'm like, yes, he's wearing sweatpants.
I had to think about it this morning. Like, oh yeah, I remember wearing sweatpants.
Yeah, you got reprimanded last. I'm so proud of you. Isn't it better?
So much better. So freeing.
Sweats are best, man. Sweats are best. But yeah, any exciting things been happening in your guys' world recently? I mean, you had a Hawaii wedding not too long ago.
That was very exciting.
Yeah.
I never shot a wedding in Hawaii before. It rained super hard right at like the end of the wedding, like speeches time. We were like gearing up for speeches. I had all my cameras set out. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then rain just comes down.
Like no warnings.
I mean, we were expecting rain to happen at some point in the day, but the whole rest of the day had been really clear, and we are like, okay, we might have avoided it. And then it just came.
Did you notice like clouds rolling in and getting
yeah, and it was sprinkling a little bit, but we're like, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
And then it was not fine.
Then it was not fine.
So then everything moved inside under a covered area.
Yeah.
Didn't look nearly as good. I was so excited for like this toast shot. I had this beautiful like background with like the Hawaii mountains and like volcano and everything, and then just rain. I'm like, okay, now we're moving inside. We got like, I don't know, like the porch lights and like my one light lighting everything. Like this sucks.
Dang! Oh my gosh, my heart is broken for you.
Thank you. At least the ceremony and everything before that turned out nice. We got done with a couple portraits, so all of that went great.
Oh, good.
Just the very end of the day.
That's the worst, man.
Yeah. Oh well.
One thing that will never leave my memory is when we were doing that wedding at what's the venue that it rained during the ceremony.
Chateau d'Elie.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Josh springs into action. Because he ahead of time he had bought these coverings for all the cameras,
but I didn't think it was gonna rain because the whole rest of the day was like fine. We're like, okay, we made it to the ceremony. I don't need to put the covers on, and then as soon as the ceremony starts, it dumps rain. I'm like, crap.
And it was funny because I was shooting on one of your C70s, and you run over, and very quickly we throw this thing on there because I'm like the only shot that's like manned at that moment.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like stay on whatever I'm shooting. I think I was actually supposed to be on the couple, but I was like on the family or something like that. You're like, Sean, hold your position. I think you thought I was on the couple or whatever. Sure. And I was like, okay. And so you threw this thing on and I couldn't see a thing.
Awesome. Just completely flying blind.
Yeah.
That's great.
Totally flying blind. Because it's the C70, so it's the flip out screen, but you can't tilt when it's against the body. So I was like, well, I can't have that. So it's against the body. I'm like, well, I hope it's on something.
Footage turned out pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
There's just less of it than normal.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you just running around frantically, like putting these covers on all the cameras was like, oh man.
And it was the C70s. So there's fans pointing directly up into the sky where the rain can fall right into the camera. Like, oh no, all my cameras are going to drown.
Oh man. So when you said that, I imagined that in my head, but I'm glad at least you were able to get undercover and your equipment was protected and everything.
It went well.
Okay, let's go back in time. Because I don't really have that much going on right now. Well, I mean, I've been doing stuff, but I think I mentioned that in the last podcast. But so let's go back in time. Hold on, I have a sound effect for this. Where's my chimes? Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay, you started in 2017. Okay.
So I started doing video in high school in like, when would I have started? 2014 maybe?
Okay.
And the first camera I ever got was like this little, I don't even know what it is. It's like a dad cam where you like hold most of it in the palm of your hand and the little screen flips out to the other side.
Yeah.
I had one of those that my parents bought me because I was kind of into like making little YouTube videos as a high school student. So I had one of those. And then later in high school, I bought a Canon 60D. So that was kind of like my first nice camera.
Okay, so you went straight into the Canon verse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I even really knew about any, like I knew about Nikon, but Nikon didn't really shoot video.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about Sony.
Yeah, okay.
And some of my friends had Canon, and I knew that Canon was like decent. And most people who were shooting video were shooting Canon.
I think Canon was king back then for most things, video specifically. But yeah, I think that's probably correct. 60D.
Yeah.
60D.
It's hard to say.
I gotta look up that.
It was the same camera as the Canon T3i, which was like super popular back then.
Okay.
But it had a few extra features. I think it was almost exactly the same camera, but it had some extra stuff on it.
Okay.
So I went with that one.
So was that a APS-C crop sensor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. 18 megapixel CMOS digital SLR. APS-C.
Mm-hmm.
5.3 frames per second continuous shooting.
Oh yeah.
And a 3-inch vari angle LCD. It captures 1080p full HD video.
Mm-hmm.
Has a 9-point autofocus system.
Ooh, yeah,
Do you know-
autofocus was basically non-existent.
Do you
in that
know what
camera.
we're at now?
All the points. I don't know.
I don't know, but I know it's hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's hundreds. So 9-point autofocus system,
Yeah.
all cross type.
And it didn't really work for video at all. You had to it was only photo,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So I used that in high school for shooting YouTube videos. I made a little short film as my senior project. So I used it for that. And then I used it for sports photography, during high school sports and stuff.
Okay. Do you have any of your old videos that you made
Yeah,
anywhere?
but I try to forget about them.
Dude, I haven't seen any of those
That's
yet.
good.
No, it's not good. I want to see that, man.
They're so bad.
Oh man. Okay, so Canon launched your career,
Mm-hmm.
and so when did you? So if 60D was primarily focused on photos, did you still use that handy cam for your video stuff then?
No, 60D
Okay.
was video and photo for me. It did everything.
Okay. All right.
I just had to manual focus pretty much all the time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Which is backwards.
Yeah.
That's backwards on Canon cameras.
Right. I think I could use autofocus if I held still and took a one shot autofocus, just
okay.
got the focus, then I could use that, but I couldn't do continuous at all.
Okay.
That didn't exist.
Nothing continuous.
No.
Wow. Dang, man. Yeah, we'll get to mine, but that was my whole world too when I started.
So I used that camera, that 60D, to start doing weddings.
Okay.
So I probably shot my first wedding, the one that I wasn't paid for at all, that I just stumbled into. I shot that one with the 60D. And then the next wedding, I think I only had the one. I might have borrowed somebody else's camera just so I had two.
Yeah.
And then some point that first year in 2017, I bought a Canon 5D Mark III. So that became my main camera, but then I had two.
Dang. That was quite a step up then.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
5D Mark
Also,
III.
no autofocus. But
okay.
I could at least do, I think I could do 60 frames a second, but it was probably 720p.
720.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But at least it was full frame. That
Yeah.
was huge.
That is huge. That would open up a whole new world.
Oh yeah.
Now, did Canon make lenses that were specific APS-C crop lenses and then full frame lenses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My 60D came with a kit lens. It was an 18 to 150 or I don't know, one of those crazy zoom lenses.
I think I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had that one, and then
Okay.
I think I bought a 24 to 105 with my 5D Mark III.
Okay. And was that a full frame?
Yeah, that was full frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, man. That was you're a big dog.
Oh yeah, for sure. I probably had a 50 mil as well. I think those were the only lenses I had.
Nifty 50.
Yeah.
I was certain when I started, and because one of the first things I shot on was so I'm Nikon still to this day. Started on Nikon, and the first thing that I shot video on was a Nikon D750, which is a full frame DSLR camera, shot in full HD, and it shot in 60 frames, full HD, full frame, which is really cool. But I shot on a 50 mil, and that image, still to this day, I love the look of a 50 mil prime prime lens. And I thought for sure, like, this is the only lens I'm ever going to need ever. Like, I don't know why I would ever use anything else.
Yeah.
And so I used that for quite a bit. Cause Michaela had, I think at that time when I started, cause I started 2018, and I started shooting at the church that I was pastoring at, and they had a Nikon D750 as well. But they had like a 24 to, it wasn't a 24 to 70. It was something else, I think, but same camera.
Okay.
And so, but she had a D750, and she also had a like monster Nikon D4S, which is kind of like the Nikon Z9 body.
Oh, like it was like the sports body.
Yeah, exactly. It was the big dog.
Yeah.
And so, but I was able to use her D750 as well for like a second angle for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but in my mind, that was around the time, I think a lot of people were still shooting in HD 1080p.
Yeah.
But I think some people were starting to get like Canon was starting to introduce full frame 4K into some of their cameras back then. Like I think, the 1DX or something like that had come out, and then the 1DX Mark II, I think.
That Mark II was like the big one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we'll get to your next big, because you got a 5D Mark IV after your Mark III, right?
Yeah.
And that's the one that introduced like really good autofocus.
Yes.
So that's when the whole world opened up for autofocus for you.
And 4K.
And 4K. Of. Yeah. Was it a crop 4K?
It was a 1.75 times crop, so it was more crop than an APS-C camera was.
Yeah, because APS-C is 1.5.
Yeah,
usually.
1.5, 1.6, somewhere in there, depending on the camera.
Dang.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I mean, that was a pretty rough crop.
Yeah, well, and so my next camera after the 750, I think the next, at the beginning of the next year, like 2019, Michaela got me a camera for Christmas, like the 2018 Christmas. And that's the camera I started using, I think. Or wait. Actually, I think it was in the beginning of 2019 or something like that. But she got me a Nikon D7500.
Okay.
Which was a crop sensor camera, but it had 4K.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought because it shot 4K, like, oh man, like I'm good.
Yeah, forever. It's the only camera I'll ever need.
Yeah. And 4K in quotes because it's UHD. So it's 2160. Yeah. 3840 by 2160. But it's cropped. And so it's like, yeah.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah. I know. Like looking back at some of the footage from that thing, I'm like, oh man, like I had no idea what I was doing as far as colors and, anything like that or whatever. There was so much to learn yet,
totally.
back then, but I was so excited that I had something that could shoot in 4K and everything. So tell me about switching from the Mark III to the Mark IV.
Well, the autofocus was huge because at that point I was shooting a lot on like a glide cam. I think I was just glide cam at that point.
Yeah.
So I would have to manually focus like midway through whatever my gimbal glide cam move was, and then do the move knowing that the beginning and the end were probably going to be a little bit out of focus.
Okay.
Because there was just no other way to do it.
Right.
You don't have autofocus.
Yep.
So you're just kind of stuck with that.
Yep.
Or you could try to manual focus as you're moving, but then you're kind of bumping the camera. It's not great.
Sure.
So autofocus was incredible. I didn't really shoot 4K even though I had it because the crop was so bad.
Yeah.
And because the file sizes were so huge.
Right. Yeah.
Because right now 4K is like, it's big-ish file sizes. Like I might finish a wedding and have 150 gig shot on my main camera.
Yep.
If I were to shoot 4K on the 5D Mark IV, I'd probably have 300 gigs or more.
Right. Yeah. Well, and now we have different compression ratios and stuff like that allow us to shoot in higher quality with smaller file sizes in the H.265. But back then we didn't really have 10-bit in our cameras.
No.
At least not in the prosumer cameras or whatever.
I didn't even have log. It was just standard picture profiles.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so 8-bit is what we shot in. So that and H.264 is all we had built into the cameras back then. So that was like I mean, I think most people still do H.264 kind of stuff, but so that lended itself to just smaller file sizes back then.
And I don't know what it was. I can't remember exactly, but something about Canon. I think the 1DX Mark II did this as well, where the 4K files, normally it like takes, man, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure the files, instead of recording like a standard video file, it would like take 24 pictures per second, like full res pictures, and then combine those into a video internally. So that's why the files were just massive.
Yeah.
Because it was like these huge resolution images that it was combining into a video instead of just shooting video. I don't really know how it works.
Yeah.
I'm still like trying to remember from my research from like 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. That sounds like a crazy like version of like a time lapse or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. That makes sense though for the large files.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so back when I was getting started, you know, obviously I went to YouTube to learn like everything, because I just wanted to learn absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And so one of the main guys I found, and obviously I think you back then followed him as well, Peter McKinnon.
Oh yeah, Peter McKinnon.
He was like the top dog, and he was my introduction into like the 1DX Mark II and everything, or at least that's where I heard it from.
Mm-hmm.
But he was shooting so the 1DX Mark II could shoot in 120 frames per second.
That was huge.
And
everyone wanted that.
Yeah, that was just mind blowing to see his B-roll that he would shoot in 120 frames per second. And dude, he laid the groundwork for like it was just kind of crazy how fast he grew back then, but he just kind of knew, like, and the way he presented it too, just very cool and casual and everything, and his style and stuff, you know, but the whole, like, how he shoots B-roll, the way that he shoots it and puts it together, his transitions.
Oh yeah.
Which I used in I think it was my first wedding ever. I used one of his transitions where he masks out in between. So you use a foreground subject to transition to your next frame. And then you mask
like
that
somebody
out
like walks in
by
front
frame.
of the frame,
Exactly.
and then it like swipes.
And then you mask that out frame by frame, and that reveals the next one. I did that in my first wedding film. And it was, the wedding party was walking by me, and the last groomsman, I used him to mask out and then reveal the couple in the next shot. And I was so proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I ever used that again.
I used it on like 5+ videos. I was obsessed with that kind of transition.
And I might be wrong. Maybe I did use it one other time, but like I remember that taking so long to get it perfect.
Oh yeah.
And even then, like feathering it properly and getting it to look exactly right. I was like, I can still, but I didn't care. It was like so cool. But yeah, Peter McKinnon, he was the guy that I would, and then Matty Hapoya, his best buddy that they always did stuff together. He eventually started his own channel because I think originally Matty was like, I think he was like a cinematographer originally, and then got introduced to the world of YouTube and started working with Peter. And I think he was his editor for a while, like would go and shoot with him and stuff like that. So I started following him too. And then who's the other big one? It was Full-Time Filmmaker, I think, back then. Why am I blanking on his name?
Parker
Walbeck. Yeah. Yeah. And that I got into watching him and his stuff mainly because I was getting into shooting real estate stuff. And so he had some really cool stuff specific to real estate and everything. But yeah, like that camera, the 1DX Mark II.
It was like the camera.
Yeah. And it came out when I was shooting on, I think the 7500 or something like that. So I was like, I wanted to throw my camera in the garbage right then and there.
I remember having a goal for like a long time of like, I need to get the 1DX Mark II.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Yeah. You never did it.
No, never did it. I ended up, by the time that I was like, I finally had enough money to like get a camera that big, it was an older camera and there was newer options. There was like, I'd rather get that.
Right. Yeah. And we had some invested in the glass and everything for Nikon and everything, but there wasn't, like you said, it wasn't really video strong at all. But come, I think it was 2019. And that's why I was trying to remember, the camera situation, like when she got me the 7500, because 2019 Nikon released its first step into mirrorless technology.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the mirrorless technology because you got a Canon R,
yes,
original Canon R, and I got the original Z6, Nikon Z6, which was Nikon's step into the mirrorless realm. And that was all competing with Sony, who kind of came into the mirrorless realm earlier than all of them with their A7 III, I think. And that the A7, I think, was the run of the mirrorless stuff. I don't know a lot about Sony. I know more about their current stuff and the newer stuff, but I don't know a lot about the history of when they like launched the technology. I do know Sony sensors are in Nikon cameras.
Yes.
And so, just on a side tangent, I've noticed that, converting log images and stuff like that, they respond really similarly because of that and everything.
Okay.
And so, which is kind of cool. And so since you started, and I'm jumping ahead now, but you shoot, one of your main cameras is an FX3 now.
Yeah.
Whenever I grade that next to my footage,
go a little easier.
Yeah. It's like, I literally have to do nothing. Yeah,
perfect.
It's kind of crazy. But anyways, so Sony kind of came in and just swept the nation, of video and photo and everything with their cameras. And so I think Canon and Nikon, they had to respond pretty strongly in that. And I didn't ever go down like the Panasonic route or anything like that. Obviously I could not afford going down like the Red or I think Black Magic was around and they were pretty affordable, but I think
they didn't make great cameras back then.
I think what the original Pocket cinema camera was kind of, I can't remember. I'll look that stuff up while you're talking, but tell me about your experience like moving from DSLR technology into mirrorless technology.
Yeah. So when I bought my 5D Mark IV, I think the R was out at that point.
Okay.
And it's almost the same camera. Like they're so similar. I think they have the same sensor as well.
Okay.
But I think I chose the 5D Mark IV because it had like a faster frames per second in photo mode. Like you could shoot like 7 instead of 5 on the R. The R did 5. The 5D Mark IV did 7 frames per second. So I was like, okay, well, if we want to shoot photos fast, we should probably have this one.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were doing photography. We're starting to get into it, but so I chose 5D Mark IV first, and then we like really started doing photography and video at the same time. I'm like, okay, well, we need another camera.
Yeah.
So I got the R because I'm like, well, maybe it'll be a little bit better for video. It's smaller. I don't know. So I got that one. I kind of gave Emma the 5D Mark III and IV as her main cameras, and I took the R as my main camera.
Okay.
And I like the R way better than the 4 just because of how small it is. The 4K is still super cropped. The file sizes are still huge, but other than that, it's pretty much the same as the 5D before.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't, it wasn't as drastic of a change for you.
No, it was almost no change.
Mine was literally like night and day difference.
Okay.
When I jumped from the 7500 to the Nikon Z6 because it was all of a sudden I had working autofocus.
Oh yeah.
You know, like good autofocus. I had true 4K full frame.
Oh, nice.
And I could shoot in 120 frames per second. I think that was cropped or no, that was in 1080, but it was full frame. So 1080, 120 frames per second, 4K, actually 60 frames, I think was in 1080 too. I think I could only shoot in 4K up to 30.
Yeah, that was the same for my camera.
Yeah.
I had so I basically shot everything 1080, 60 at that time.
Yeah. But man, like I was just blown away.
Yeah.
And I didn't have money for mirrorless glass back then. They were just launching that stuff because they had changed the whole mount. They had gone from F mount to Z mount.
Right.
Z mount was much bigger and closer to the sensor. So their promise was faster glass, faster, smaller glass because of that and everything, which eventually they started to release all sorts of stuff. So I adapted the 50 mil, the Nifty 50, and I used that and I took the kids out back then. I still have my original video on the Z6. It was like my little test, and I even branded it with like the Nikon logo and everything. And actually I put it up on Vimeo as public and it got thousands of views.
Wow.
Because it was pretty early on and everything.
Yeah.
And actually I started a YouTube channel back then, as kind of and my first video was, can you vlog with the Nikon Z6?
Okay.
And so I just took it out and kind of did and it didn't have a flip screen, so I couldn't see myself.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah. It was just tilt on the back. And so I couldn't see myself, but I had the 24 to 70 kit lens, that I got with it, which is F4 or whatever. But it was wide enough, that I could hold it out and it was okay. But it was the autofocus, man. Like I did not have to worry, and it was silent.
That's awesome.
It was totally silent, which blew my mind. Like I didn't know this was even possible. And so I released that. I remember like walking around the neighborhood. I remember taking it into the car, going through a drive-through. Like I had it on a little like mini tripod thing,
funny.
and went through. It was just a silly like day in life, see if this camera works for that. Yeah. And it got thousands of views, like tons of comments and everything. And so I think people were pretty pumped about that camera when it first came out because, a lot of the older guard or whatever in photography, I think a lot of them shot Nikon cameras and everything because, Nikon in the photography world is still very strong and has been strong for a long time. Yeah. But I think there was a desire to kind of move into video. And so the release of the Z6 and that technology and everything just opened up a whole world. And on top of that, and the reason that I've shot with those cameras up until I sold them the beginning of this year, finally.
I just sold my R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is because with the combination of using the Atomos Ninja V monitor, you were able to unlock log, 10-bit 422 log, ProRes,
dang,
all the way up to RAW. You could unlock all the way up to RAW, and Atomos released the option to shoot in H.265 compression ratio. So I was able to shoot in 4K. 10-bit 422 log, and record directly to SSD on those things. And so in H.265, so I could literally record, video for, I think with the 1 terabyte SSDs that I had in those things, I was able to record like up to 23 hours straight.
Forever.
Like yeah. And so that's why I had 3 of those that were in my regular kit with 3 Ninja Vs, and those were my sticks cameras for everything.
And
long
they
form
were
stuff.
heavy.
They were. Yes, they were. Yeah, because I had them on by the way, great video on your tripod.
Oh, thanks.
Your tripod video. You just released that not long ago. Oh yeah, I wanted to see that in person. But I have the old Manfrotto large
Yep.
tripods, heavy tripods. I can't shake them, man. They're just like so solid.
They
everything.
are. I mean, yeah.
But because of the Ninja monitor, and I got the like biggest batteries in the world.
They were huge.
But they lasted all day.
And you had the battery grips on the cameras at one point.
Yes, that's true.
So it was like a massive camera with a cage, with a monitor, with a massive battery and an SSD.
Yeah.
And like,
yep.
Just the biggest tripod ever as well.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember hauling 2 of those like across a field at a wedding. And I stopped like 4 times. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, these things are so heavy.
I forgot because it just kind of became normal for me.
Yeah.
But I remember when you've made many comments over the years.
And I haven't held back.
And then Johnny one time, I think when he came to shoot or whatever. And it was at Skamania Lodge. Mm-hmm. And the stuff is not close together at Skamania Lodge. And so I remember we had to move stuff from the undercover area is kind of where setup was, or staging of the equipment. And we had to run it over to another ceremony area, which was along the path. And I remember watching him like carry just one, but it's all rigged up and everything. He took like 3 breaks on the way out.
Yes.
They're heavy.
They are.
They are heavy. Thus, the reason I got that cart. Eventually I got the cart, and that changed
everyone
everything.
Should get a cart.
Everybody should get a cart. But yeah, dude, like that combination, and I'm jumping a little ahead in time, but not really because, and I didn't know what I had back then because I had gotten a Ninja V back then when I had first gotten the Z6, not immediately, but I think in that same year. I got it because of the capabilities that it unlocked in the camera. Mm-hmm. And I went out and I shot stuff with that, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And N-Log, how to treat N-Log was still kind of developing and stuff. Like you only had the technical LUT from Nikon at the time, and it was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
What is with that? What is with camera manufacturers making log and then making the worst possible LUT to convert it into Rec 709?
I have no idea.
Because it happens a lot, weirdly, with different brands too.
And I think it's because they, and I've seen this in a couple different, like Gamut has done videos based on the N-Log technical LUTs from Nikon and stuff like that.
Okay.
They created those in very, very precisely controlled lighting situations.
Gotcha.
And so it does not account for, bright direct sunlight days. It does not account for, tons of contrast and everything. And I don't know why, why wouldn't you want to give people more flexibility?
So weird.
But I suppose the ability to dial in the intensity is there in the programs, but that removes some of the color. And yeah, so I don't know. The answer to that question is I don't know. And I will never know why, because even to this day, like, my Z6 IIIs, the view assist, the built-in view assist is, although it's much better, it's still not quite there. Yeah. With that. So I don't know. And weird. So that's why thank the Lord for companies like Gamut, that comes out in Cine Match, and stuff that for whatever reason, they're like, this stuff sucks. We're going to make our own stuff that makes this so much better and so much easier. Like Gamut specifically creating LUTs that matches across the board on so cameras. Nice. That's been a game changer. And I commented on one of their posts recently about like, what do you use, to match cameras, whatever. And so, I'm really thankful for those guys. But yeah, dude, it was a great combination and something that I used for up until this year. Yeah. And finally sold those, just solid cameras.
It's great when a camera can actually last 5+ years.
Oh man, it was great. And the reason I put the battery grips on there, you remember why? I didn't want to have to worry about battery life at all. Like,
and you didn't with those battery grips. You used them all day.
Well, and something I had done previous to getting the Ninja Vs. Do you remember my little Jimmy rig that I came up with to keep because they had the recording limits? You remember?
No.
So I had the little remote triggers that I would attach down at the bottom of the tripod.
Oh, yeah. You're talking before you put the monitors
Yeah,
on.
before the monitors.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because they had 30-minute record limits, and I didn't want to have to worry about checking on those. And so I got these little remote triggers that I programmed to go off exactly like 30 minutes and 2 seconds or something like that after I hit record.
Yeah.
And so as soon as the camera would stop recording, 2 seconds would tick, and then it would turn it back on and start recording again.
That was smart.
That was my little workaround.
And you had them like velcroed to the leg of the tripod.
Exactly.
It was great.
It was all built in.
Yeah.
It was all built in. But yeah, when I got the Ninja V monitors, I didn't have to worry about that. But then I got the battery grips because I didn't want to have to worry about battery life in the camera bodies themselves, because they're still, they eat battery life.
Yeah, through them.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, that did make it very, very heavy. But I thought they looked amazing. I thought they looked so cool. Like, I remember the first time I got the whole thing built out, and I took a picture and I sent it to you, like I do all the time.
Right.
Like, dude, check this out.
They looked like very professional.
They did. Yeah, it's true. And the bigger camera bodies with the monitors on top, it does.
I forgot, because you also had like a big 70 to 200, like a massive lens. That also added to the weight.
Yes. That thing is a beast. It's sitting there right next to you on the shelf, and it's massive. So yeah, and even the 24 to 70 that I use regularly, that thing is heavy too. But yeah, that camera specifically, I remember when I first got that lens, I had to get a support to build in to the cage that I had on my Z6.
Okay.
And it was created to screw into the bottom plate of that. You can kind of see on the bottom, there's that little mount.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped take the strain off of the mount because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Eventually I just stopped caring about that. It's like, it can handle it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. What a journey that's been, dude. Like so after the 5D Mark IV, you got the R.
Yep. Which was like it wasn't an upgrade. It was like a sidestep.
Sure. Yeah.
Lateral move.
Yeah. Cause that was your main camera that you shot on.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about gimbal stuff too, as we've transitioned, because you went from glide cam. What was your first like gimbal?
The Ronin Mark I.
Okay.
Or the Ronin S Mark I.
Yeah. That was same for me.
Yeah.
They just called it a Ronin S back then.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I still have that in my closet actually.
Do you really? You still have one?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah. I should bust it out. And I let Travis Clinton borrow that for a little bit too.
I thought you were just giving it to him.
Well, I was going to give it to him. And he was like, I won't ever use it or whatever, but I think he used it on one thing or something, but, yeah, so that was my first gimbal too. And that was another game changer.
Yeah.
Because again, the lighter weight mirrorless cameras, the autofocus, like that was just,
it was amazing.
Yeah. It was incredible.
The most annoying thing about it was that there were no, axis locks.
Yep.
So it would just flop around.
Yep.
And the case that it came with, you had to disassemble the entire thing and like move all of the arms. So if you wanted to put it in the case, you'd have to completely disassemble it and reassemble it and rebalance every single piece of it every time you wanted to use it, which is so annoying.
Yeah. Which at the time we didn't know. We didn't really know otherwise.
That was just the way it was.
Yeah. It's just, exactly. That's the way it was. But the technology because I had a glide cam as well for a little bit that I used.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for a short time. And I was just awful at it. So I think I used it a couple times and I just could not get it.
It's hard to learn.
Yeah, it was really hard. And so, I was like, I'm investing in this technology or whatever, DJI. And then also the drone technology, which we could talk about those two. But because of the ability to have like presets built in, because I remember we had the 3 presets or whatever. And I don't think they were presets like you could customize them. I think they were built-in modes back then on that Ronin S. But I think one of them was just tilt or or just pan or something like that.
Sure.
The other one was like pan tilt, and then the other one was like locked, whatever. If I remember correctly, because the reason I remember that is because I would build those because I was so locked in with those.
Yeah.
I built those into the next
Sure.
gimbals that I got to make sure. Actually, never mind. My first gimbal was not the Ronin S.
So the crane.
It was
whatever?
It was a Zhun crane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember that was like the big one until DJI released their first
Yeah.
one.
Actually, I will tell you this. When I switched from the Zhun crane to the Ronin S, I missed the Zhun crane.
Oh, okay.
Because of that one specifically that I had. And I can't remember I totally forgot about that thing. But I think that thing was smoother overall in its movements and a little bit more intuitive as far as what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Than the Ronin S.
Okay.
But because DJI like stormed onto the scene and they were just like crushing it with everything, I was like, well, I have to have it.
Naturally.
And that speaks very heavily into like what happened to me over the next like 5 years or whatever. Us, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that technology just changed everything. And of course, as soon as you get a gimbal, you shoot everything on the gimbal.
Everything.
And you do the same movements on it. You feel like you have to do the same movements.
Yeah.
So all of my wedding films back then, all of my B-roll all looked the same.
Yeah.
It was all parallax shots, moving around the subject or pushing straight through the scene or, whatever it was. Or locking it and going from side to side like a slider movement.
Right.
Those were my main kind of moves or whatever. But it was everything.
Yeah.
It was literally everything.
I remember sometimes, I mean, even still a little bit, I have to like remind myself, like, you don't have to move for every single shot. You can stay stationary. It's okay.
Yep. One of the things they're great for if you have something to kind of prop them up on is like tripod shots. Because you don't always have like to have a perfectly horizontal horizon line, like they'll autocorrect for that. And so I've used that many times doing that because I don't want to haul around a tripod or whatever. But so you move. We were on the. Did you say EOS? Like they say EOS or EOS?
I probably say EOS.
Okay. Because I think there was a whole thing about that.
Yeah, honestly, I just skipped that part and just called it R.
R. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm on the R. Yeah,
that's like Canadians say Z.
Yes.
Instead of Z. And so like when they'd start to say like the Z6 or whatever.
You're like, what is this?
Is this a new one? Oh no, they're Canadian, so they have to say that.
They have to. It's the law.
It's the law. So after the R, what did you move to?
Well, I had that for a while. And then let's see, Emma, that's my wife. She was doing photography on the 5D Mark III and 4. And at some point she's like, I kind of don't like shooting on the Mark III because the colors look different than the Mark IV. So she's like, I want to get either another Mark IV. I think, no, at that time she wanted to get another Mark IV. And by that point, Canon had just recently released the R6 and the R5.
Okay.
Those came out together. I'm like, I think we should, like, I don't want her to get an old DSLR camera. Let's go mirrorless.
Yeah.
So I convinced her to get one. Well, what am I saying? Yeah, two R6s over the course of like a few months. We got two of them.
Okay.
And we sold off the Mark III and probably like my 60D or something.
Okay.
So then I still had my R that I was shooting on, but whenever she was not shooting photo at a wedding, I would take the R6s and shoot video with those.
Okay.
So for like a year, I would use the R6s.
Okay.
But they overheat pretty bad in video mode.
Yeah.
So I didn't love using them, but I did have full frame 4K 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
That was huge. Because I
yeah.
never had that before. Up until that point, I was still shooting 1080p.
Yeah.
Actually, even while using the R6s, I was shooting 1080p sometimes because it would overheat so bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot less strain on the processor.
Yeah. It basically wouldn't overheat if you're on 1080p.
Nice.
Unless it was already overheated from the 4K.
Right.
Oh man, there was one time. Do you remember? I don't know when this was, 2021 or probably 2021, that day or weekend that it was like 118 in Portland, which is like unheard of here.
Yes. Yep.
I took the R6 out of my backpack, put it on the tripod, turned it on, and it was overheating. I didn't even start recording. I was like, okay.
Nope. Not going into work today.
Yep.
I do remember that vividly, I think, because I think we shot a wedding that weekend.
Yeah.
And it was up in Welch's.
Oh yeah. I know Welch's.
And it was at like a park up in Welch's.
Okay.
And it was like 108 degrees that day, but it was muggy because like we were in the forest. And it was just like this elopement style wedding or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly, but I'm pretty sure this was the same thing. And I was praying like the whole time because I didn't have any other cameras.
Yeah.
I think maybe I had one other Z6 at the time.
Uh-huh.
Maybe. I can't actually remember if I had another one. But anyways, yeah, the Z6 was still my main camera on the gimbal.
Yep.
I was like,
Please
I don't
don't
know.
overheat.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to last because I did have an instance where it did overheat on me. And it was for a buddy's wedding. And it was super hot that day. It wasn't as hot, but it was direct sun.
Yeah.
And
that's what kills them.
That's what kills them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened before to my cameras.
Yeah.
You remember we were at the Empress estate.
Yep. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. And like the camera on the other side that didn't have direct sun ever overheated. Mm-hmm. But as soon as the direct sun goes on that back screen, it's like
just gone.
It's just a matter of time.
But anyway, so I had the R6s for like a year.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the year, I'm like, I don't think I want to keep using these cameras. Like the overheating is killing me. And I mean, they were Emma's photography cameras. So anytime that she was shooting photo and I needed to shoot video, I'm like, well, crap. Now I'm a little bit screwed. I have to go back to the R or, whatever.
Yeah.
So at that point, I upgraded to one Canon C70, which was like a huge step up from anything I'd ever had before, both in terms of size and specs.
Yeah. Cause that's cinema line, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It was their smallest and cheapest cinema line camera ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I still have them. I still use them. They're awesome.
They're incredible cameras. Mm-hmm. Built-in NDs.
Yes, that was insane.
Yeah. And then C-Log 2, which was a cinema
C-Log.
Only log. Because I know the R with the monitor you could shoot in, or internally you could shoot in
it can shoot
C-Log.
8-bit C-Log 1.
Yeah, which is
not
worst.
great. Yeah.
No.
The R6 could shoot C-Log 3.
Yeah.
But I, after using it for a while, realized that I hate C-Log 3. Especially on the R6 in particular.
Okay.
Just because the view assist, like on your camera, the view assist kind of lies to you. It does the same thing.
Okay.
So I end up underexposing, but then a lot of noise would enter in, and then it was just a mess. So
same.
they're super hard to grade.
Yep. Same. Exactly.
But yeah, the C70 with C-Log 2, internal NDs. It had XLR ports, which I don't really use for weddings, but for other stuff, it's really great.
Yeah.
Full frame 4K with the speed booster. Which just meant I had to use the older like DSLR lenses, but that was fine because that's mostly what I had at that point.
Right.
Trying to think. Those are all the specs that matter.
The built-in fan, and everything.
Oh yeah,
so
so never
zero
overheats.
overheating.
The battery is massive, so it's like 3+ hours of battery life.
Yep.
Versus like a mirrorless or DSLR body, which is like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I remember when you first got that, the wedding, because you were like, I just got this. Is there anything I can come shoot with you just for whatever? That's the feeder. The cat feeder. And Milo's at the door. That's fine, actually, because he always eats both sides.
Oh, good for him.
Because he's a bully.
Yeah.
So Luna can have her meal in peace. Do you remember this wedding?
Yeah.
It was up north, and you shot in wide DR.
Yes, because I was scared of shooting log. Because I'd never really done log that much before. Yeah.
And I didn't know because you were just going to hand it over, the footage. And so I'm like, yeah, shoot in whatever. And that footage changed my life because I was still on the Z6 and I was shooting in like a flat profile or something like that. Cause I was trying to get, in my mind, I was like, oh, this is going to give me more dynamic range and
yeah,
flatter. And so I can manipulate the colors a little more, but I was still in 8-bit, so I couldn't push anything too much. But that footage from your camera changed my whole kind of outlook on colors and contrast for my own stuff.
Yeah.
And even your 5D Mark IV footage, which was very different, but still, that helped me start to kind of transform what I saw and what I liked and stuff like that. Started to develop my taste for colors and contrast and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so
what you're telling me is that Canon cameras have made the biggest impact on your career.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Here we go. We've had this conversation. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Which has never been a debate in my mind. Like, Canon colors are just amazing.
They're nice.
And they always have been. And I've always loved the colors. But what it did is it opened my eyes to the capabilities of my own cameras.
For sure.
And so I started to be able to dial in my cameras to achieve that kind of color and contrast and stuff like that. And so that just changed everything. I remember I think I still shot on the Z6s when we started shooting in log.
Yeah.
Because I was too afraid to shoot in log and everything like that. Because I didn't have a lot of, I think I tried shooting in log once and I tried grading it, and I did it for I think I was shooting for that bank back then. And I brought it home and I tried to make it look good. And I was just like, oh man, this is awful. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
and everything. And so I think it worked out or whatever. Fun fact, I pulled up that footage from all those years ago, like last year or something like that, just to see, graded it.
Super easy.
Looked perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked amazing.
I think because I ran into huge grading issues myself back then. I think it was because the conversion LUTs that we had were either we didn't have any or they were really terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know. I thought I must be doing something wrong, you know? And so I'm diving into the menu on the Ninja V, to see what's going on there. I'm diving in the menu on the camera. I'm looking up stuff, I'm doing all this research. I'm like, there's got to be something that I'm doing wrong.
Right.
Because I was still seeing like log footage from the Z6, and everything. And I think at the time, like the Z6 II had come out and stuff, and the Z7 or whatever. And I'm seeing footage that was shot in log and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong? Yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm doing everything right. You know? And that's my mind. If I'm doing it technically right, then it should just, come out that way.
Yeah.
But what the footage from the C70 revealed to me is like, I think I'm limiting, I'm putting too much emphasis on giving myself more flexibility in my settings. What I mean by that is like, because internally I can only shoot in flat on the Z6 and everything. And so I was like trying to give myself more flexibility by giving myself or creating less contrast in the image. Like, you can turn down the contrast, you can turn down saturation, all that kind of stuff. But eventually I think I kept shooting for you on that Z6 and I just had everything like flat across the board in that flat profile. And I think you actually really enjoyed grading that back in the day for the couple weddings or whatever. And then I started to be like, actually, this is pretty good. Like, this is pretty accurate, when I started to get more into the nerdy, like technical stuff, like measuring the color accuracy and stuff like that on the vector scope and everything. I was like, actually, this is pretty accurate. So I started to shoot color charts and everything. And so it just, that whole season just really opened my eyes quite a bit into color and contrast and stuff like that. And then I think it wasn't too long after I was like, I think I'm going to like shoot in log. again. And I think I had found a ETT LUT exposed to the right LUT.
Yes.
Which was, well, that's the coffee machine turning off now. All these things. That was, I want to say it starts with an L.
Leeming LUTs.
Yeah, Leeming.
Yeah.
That's right. Leeming LUTs. And this LUT changed everything for log for me.
Yeah.
Because
you were on that train for a while.
Yeah. Because it was great, because it gave me a really clean image, because I was able to overexpose up to the point, or expose to the right up to the point of just overexposing, or maintaining highlights, and then it would knock everything down, and everything was super clean. And so I think it was for I'm gonna mess up the name. Jonathan's wedding.
Yes.
Jonathan and they're friends from Summit View, I think, that we did their wedding. Anyways,
Olivia.
Yes. And I think I started out shooting linear. And then I was like, I could probably, because I was shooting in a high contrast scene or whatever, and I think we were doing the first look with Dad. And I was like, I could probably shoot this in log. Like, I was like, and you're like, oh yeah, I shoot my stuff in log. And I was like, you didn't tell me. Like, and you're like, yeah, go ahead and shoot it. And so, and then from that point, like, I think after you worked with that footage, you're like, yeah, shoot in log for everything from that point. But yeah, that changed my world once again, starting to shoot in log and actually understanding it, and actually having proper conversion LUTs and stuff like that to be able to get it to look good, and the colors proper, but the dynamic range that it unlocked was incredible. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, because I shot wide DR on that C70 for a while before I switched to log, because I was scared of log.
Yep.
But yeah, once I switched, and because it has the C-Log 2 instead of the C-Log 3, it was super easy to grade.
Yeah. C-Log 2 freaked me out the first time I saw it.
Because it was so flat?
It was so flat.
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks nothing like my log. In my mind, I'm like, log is log. Like,
it's almost grayscale.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
If you've never worked with C-Log 2 footage before, it's pretty incredible. And so that and grading that stuff, so the difference, I think, in Canon log opposed to Nikon log, I think Nikon log is Rec 2020, so I have to convert it.
Okay.
Where I think C log and anything that's like Canon log, I think you can just add contrast and color to the log without converting it, and you can get decent colors out of it. Okay. But I didn't know that for Nikon log, and so that's what happened to me at first.
Sure.
I was trying to just adjust color and contrast, but it was in Rec 2020. Yeah, I did not convert it to Rec 709, so it was like, oh, this is weird. Like, it's green and yellowish and everything. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on? And so, but yeah, we could talk about this for so much longer. We're already over an hour.
Awesome.
Let's fast forward. What are you shooting on now? Why are you shooting on what you're shooting on now? And is there anything new and exciting for your future that might be that maybe Emma doesn't even know about?
So at this point I've got two C70s, and just back in like September, I bought a Sony FX3 and like a 24-70 for it. I got the Sony because I was shooting quite a bit for other people who shot Sony. And every time I would shoot for them, they'd be like, so do you have a Sony yet? I'm like, no. They're like, okay, you're going to have to rent one for this wedding. And I'm like, okay.
So you rented one every time?
Usually they would pay for it.
Okay.
But I felt bad. And I'm like, well, I keep having to rent these things. Sure. I might as well just buy one.
Yeah.
I kind of want, like, I've thought about switching everything over to Sony. That's expensive to do.
Yep.
Yep. But I'm like, well, I could just buy one camera, but one camera body, one lens. Any extra lenses, I can usually just borrow from the lead shooter. It's fine. So I did that. I bought one Sony body, the FX3, and one like Sigma 24-70.
Okay.
And then I, used it a couple times shooting for this person. And then this year I'm like, you know what? This camera is so much lighter weight than my C70, especially when I put it on the gimbal. So I'm just going to shoot all my weddings with the FX3 as my main camera this year.
So that'll be a cam.
Mm-hmm. And then C70s on tripods.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
And I know something that I love about the FX3, which by the way is not just one camera body. Like it's really expensive and it's held its value for years.
Weirdly, it has held its value. I've never seen a camera hold its value so well.
Yeah. Used, they're still over $4,000 just for the body. And it's unbelievable. But something that I love is that you can put your own LUTs, custom LUTs into it.
Yeah. That's something the Canon cameras don't even do. Well, kind of. You can load them in, but you have to, if you use a custom LUT, you have to bake it into the footage.
Yeah.
Whereas the FX3, you can use it just as a monitoring LUT, which is incredible.
I don't know why all cameras don't do that. It's just, it makes no sense to me. I'm hoping Nikon hops on that train.
Yeah, for sure.
But you also have a LUT that you've added in there for false color, right? Yeah. Which that's something that I live by now is false color. Yeah. Like on everything.
So the Canon C70 has false color built in. So I just have a button I can click and it turns on false color and then it clicks it back off. Yeah. Which is awesome for exposing and making sure my skin tones look good.
Yep.
FX3 doesn't have that. It actually has very few like monitoring tools built in, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But people have made false color LUTs. So I just installed that and then I can switch between the two different LUTs pretty quickly. Not as quick, which is annoying, but pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that works pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. So currently I shoot on Nikon Z6 IIIs. I'm still on the Z6. I never went like Z7s or anything like that.
Are the Z7s better than the Z6s?
Well, they have larger sensors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they have like
higher megapixels?
Yeah, sensors? Higher megapixel sensors. And so that's so my understanding back in the day when the Z6 and the Z7 were first released, like the Z6 was going to be kind of if you were more video kind of focused, then the Z6 was going to be the one to go for.
Yeah.
And then the Z7 would be more like for photography, that was kind of, and so that's been kind of throughout the line.
Yeah.
And they haven't even released a Z7 III.
No, I feel like I never hear anybody talk about Z7s.
So I think they they had a Z7 II that released, so they may do a Z7 III. But I think the primary focus has been on the Z6s through the years and everything. So
you were using a Z9 for a while.
Yes, Michaela has two Z9s, and I got a Z9 originally because it had all the things that
log internal.
Yep. 10-bit. I could shoot RAW internally on that thing. And so it had all the things. It was big body, huge battery. So long battery life, and everything. And so I got that thinking like, oh, this is it, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And then I started shooting with that thing and the image is nice. It had dual base ISO, which was the first time I'd experienced that before. And so, when shooting in log, so 800 and 4000 were the two base ISO, levels for that camera. And so low light was like, great. I was like, just bump it up to 4000. And like the image is clean. And even when you do turn the ISO up on those, it is clean. It's pretty clean. Z6 III is a bit noisier, so you got to be more careful when you're pushing it.
Yeah.
But it was just huge. It was really big. And so
why do you think I hated shooting on the C70 on the gimbal?
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. And so eventually when I wanted to start shooting on the gimbal again, because that's a whole thing we can get into next time is like shooting on the gimbal, shooting handheld. You guys kind of alluded to that when we had our podcast before. Like, you never know what Sean's going to do. Like, he's going to be different one day and, the next day or whatever. But I wanted to start shooting on the gimbal again. And so, and then the Z6 III released. And that was Nikon's first camera that had the flip screen.
Yeah.
And that was perfect for putting on the gimbal. Actually, I think their ZF might have done the flip screen, but the Z6 III was like the first pro like level camera or whatever,
Sure.
That had the flip screen. And so, but yeah, now I have three Z6 IIIs. And that's why I finally sold the original Z6s, and they're small. They're a lot like the FX3.
Yeah.
As far as their capabilities and everything. And I thought about going down the road of the ZR because they just released the Nikon ZR not too long ago. But everything that I've seen, it looks like they're pretty much the same camera.
Okay.
And even the Z6 III, and I don't know if it's something that they're still working out in the ZR, but the H.265 is a little softer in the ZR for some reason.
Oh, weird.
I'm not sure what's going on there. And so Z6 III has just been it for me.
Yeah.
And so I have 3 of those now. And
Perfect.
and then I have all my lenses. So I will keep my tripods for now, but at least the cameras are light.
Yeah, for sure.
At least the cameras.
And you don't have
the
big monitors on them
No
anymore.
big monitors, unless I want to use. I just bought that from you, so now I have 2 Shinobis, which are much lighter, and I have smaller batteries.
Okay.
Now, much smaller, and so that'll still be light, and I'll throw that on a monitor mount on the gimbal or something like that, or if I want to shoot handheld, I can throw that on top. It's still pretty light, but that's where I'm at now.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for this season. Like it's already shaped up to be a pretty good season, and yeah, just excited. I think our first wedding together is at the I'm going to forget the name of it. Something house.
Oh, the Griffin House.
Griffin House. Yeah. Which is not for another month or so.
It's in May.
Okay. We got a little bit. I think Michaela and I have a wedding this Saturday that we're shooting photos for. But yeah, I'm excited. Now you got that FX3 is going to be a
have
cam.
to send it in for repair.
What? What?
I'm so upset.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. It's been doing this, and I thought it was no big deal, but I think it's getting worse. And I just talked with somebody this last week that was like, "Oh my gosh, I've had that." Well, let me backtrack.
Okay.
When I use this thing, after an hour or more of use, usually, I mean, it varies, but usually, after like an hour, all of a sudden the touch screen will just stop being a touch screen.
You've told me that.
Yeah. I can't tap to focus at all. I can't do anything with the touchscreen. And the only way to fix it is to turn off the camera, take out the battery, put it back in, turn it back on. Then it's fine for like a while.
Yeah.
But I was just at this workshop and I was filming BTS of all the attendees. And one of them saw me do that and came up to me later. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I've had that exact same problem. Here's what I did. I had to send it in like 3 or 4 times for repair until they finally figured it out. But it's like the control board is bad. You got to get that replaced." And she's like, "It's only going to get worse with time." I'm like,
Shoot.
The worst part is that I bought this camera used from B&H.
Yeah.
So there's no Sony warranty.
Yeah.
And I just called the like Sony repair place to get a quote. And they're like, minimum $600 to fix it. And you cover all the shipping. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Ouch.
So all my savings from buying it used out the window.
Oh, dang it. Oh my gosh.
I haven't even had it 6 months yet. Like, it hurts.
Oh man. I'm sorry.
Luckily, it's not like a debilitating issue so far.
Yeah. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I can get by with it, but
yeah.
I think like I have a wedding this weekend that I'll use it for, but then after that, I'll probably just send it in because I won't need this camera for like a month.
Okay. So, all right. Good. Well, I'll hope for the best for that.
Yeah.
That's
so
awful.
Annoying.
That's the worst. I hate that so much. I think we can wrap it up, man. Like I said, we could talk about stuff for forever.
Yeah.
Like there's so much to talk about. Like we haven't even gotten into like the fine details of like the stuff that's built into the cameras, you know, that the reason we use them and stuff like that. But thanks for coming out, man.
Happy to.
Like I love Nerd Days.
Great.
They're just the best.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you stuck with us through the whole thing, you guys are troopers, and you are true nerds, and we thank you for your nerdism. And so till next time, we look forward to it, the next Nerd Day. Thanks again, Josh.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.